Hello everybody, Siraz here, and today we are going to be watching another StarCraft game. Today we are going to be watching a TVT, and we are going to have the Genius Terran, Nada, over here, part of Team OGS. Currently, he's a Korean player, and currently OGS and Team Liquid are kind of living in the same house together. So, a little bit about Nada. I mean, he's just a great player. Brood War Legend, has probably some of the most solid macro out of any Terran. I mean, his macro is just unbelievable. I think the only person's macro who is kind of up to par to his, at least that I've seen, would be like a General. General has great Terran macro as well. So that's a little bit about Nada. And he is playing against somebody who, I don't know who this is. It is a Korean name, which I still can't read Korean, maybe one of these days. But yeah, if anyone wants to translate, that'd be awesome. But it is going to be a TVT, and I'm excited to see Nada play. I mean, I've always really been impressed by his play. It's just so fundamentally solid. He doesn't always do anything crazy or anything too fancy or cool or whatever, but it's just so amazing to watch his play. I mean, it's just so solid, unbelievably good. So I'm excited to watch this game. Both players opening pretty standard. I mean, it's not that far into the game, nothing really to talk about. But yeah, a little bit more about Nada. I think he has his code S in the GSL, so that means he is competing in that for their first official season or whatever. I think they're still trying to sort out some of that. Well, I'm not really exactly sure how the GSL is going to be doing their tournaments. It's really confusing rules. I don't know if any of you guys looked at it, but it's kind of messed up. But yeah, I believe Nada still has his code S, so I don't think he's actually played yet. Or if he did, he might have played like last night or something. We'll have to see. Ooh, and the other Terran going for a fast expand. Pretty ballsy. Sometimes this can be kind of hard to hold, but it's not a terrible position. He hasn't been, or a terrible idea. He hasn't been scouted yet by Nada, so he's gonna have that as an advantage. So Nada really is not going to find out till it's going to be almost too late to stop this. And I think we are just going to see this game go into a macro game. Nada will probably just respond with a fast expansion of his own. Oh, he's throwing on the reactor and going for a fast expand before even, did he scout that? No, before he even scouted that, he actually opted not to scout. Interesting. So both players getting an expansion up. And getting a couple barracks. We do have a reactor out. That's kind of the advantage of not expanding till after you get your gas up. You can get some of those gas units and upgrades and building a little bit quicker. Whereas this other Terran, the blue Terran over here, he is just starting to now get gas. Oh, no, not even getting gas yet. So just going very, oh wow, look at this. He is up to 5 barracks, so going very marine heavy. He does not want to lose to some sort of early timing push here, and he is just playing it very safe. But I don't think Nada, like I said, I don't think Nada's planning on doing anything like that. I mean, he's getting an expansion of his own, just kind of scouting around with some of these Marines, and yeah, I mean, that's about it. Now we're just kind of waiting for the later game to occur. But like I said, that is kind of the advantage. Nada will probably have a faster stim, if that's what he's going to go for, and combat shields, if that's what he chooses. I mean, we might actually see some sort of stim combat shield timing push. That's what the two tech labs lead me to believe. Oh, a couple Marauders. Maybe he just wanted to throw some Marauders in the mix. Nada going to see these Marines moving out, but he has plenty to deal with it. I mean, this other Terran player, the blue Terran player, is just going to come up here and be like, oh, well, he has more Marines than I do. Might have to retreat. Though he might be gathering some reinforcements, and maybe he's just waiting for that next round of Marines before he goes. We'll have to see if that's the case. No, he's just going to go back to base. Let's take a look at the income. Blue Terran player a little bit ahead in the mineral or in the worker count. No surprise here. He did, fast expand earlier than Nada, so that'll give him a couple worker count advantage, slight worker count advantage. and finally just taking his gas. Real late gases here, but going double gas to make up for that. Good choice. He wanted, like I said, I think he wanted to hit, or he might actually still try and hit it, this Marine timing push with just mass Marines, but I just don't see this being very effective. Stim, not going to be done this time, but the forces of Nada are comparable here. I mean, looking at the army size, yeah, a little bit more food for the other Terran player, but just due to the fact that they are going to be fighting at Nada's base, we'll be able to get reinforcements a lot sooner, and I don't see any way that this player will be able to break Nada here. Yeah, he scans. I mean, what he did there is he scans. He's like, oh, well, I'm not going to break that, and just retreats. Nothing crazy at all. Continue to rally Marines, getting stim of his own and combat shields. So interesting. A lot of times you will see players go for a more tech-heavy route in TVT, but it looks like both these players are going to just stick on bio for a minute here. And it's kind of a game of chicken here. Whoever stops building bio first might get run over by the other player, so we'll have to see when they decide to, go to factory. Looks like Blue Terran actually is choosing to go to factory right here, so we'll have to see if that adversely affects him. If Nada can hit a sick timing push here, could do a lot of damage. I mean, he does have stim and combat shields, and the Blue Terran doesn't have any of that. He has a lot more Marines. If you look at the unit counting station, 35 Marines to 39 Marines to 19 and 8 Marauders, but stim can make all the difference. I think it actually doubles the attack speed. I guess we can take a look here. Just says greatly. What do you know? I could be completely wrong on that, but for some reason I think it doubles it. And that'll make all these units way more effective. I'm kind of surprised Nada choosing not to attack here. I think he definitely could have attacked. I mean, he could have done a lot of damage. He had a perfect timing window before stim and combat shields were up, but now he's lost that chance, and it looks like he's just going to retreat. Nada getting out some tanks. He is getting siege mode and getting a tank out of his own, whereas we see this Terran player, Blue Terran player, opting to go more of the starport route. And he does have that starport and reactor building on it, as you guys can see. It looks like he's thinking about attacking. Once again, he does have stim and combat shields and a ton of Marines, but Nada has a pretty large force himself, so we'll have to see which force is better. This tank does not have siege mode yet. That'd make all the difference here, but look at those Marines. Nada kind of getting trapped at his own ramp, and those Marines just cleaning up. Nada being forced to pull SCVs. The tank is going to go down, and wow, this is a huge Marine ball. Nada in a lot of trouble here. I don't know how he's going to turn this one around. He needs to get a Marine ball of his own, pulling all of his workers and some Marines. Oh, the tank's finally getting siege mode, and that is going to turn this around very easily. Siege mode tanks just so strong against Marines. So that tank getting siege mode just in time to save Nada from utter defeat. He's in a lot of trouble though. He lost a lot of workers there. He took some damage. He lost a factory. At least he did not lose his expansion, and he still has one refinery up. So he is in a lot of trouble, but he's still hanging on as long as he has keeps his tanks alive, puts them in good positions. I mean, I think Nada should be okay. You just cannot attack into tanks with Marine balls. Especially, look at how low health these guys are. One more tank shot would kill all those Marines there. And we'll have to see how the Blue Terran transitions from here. Looks like he's getting some tanks of his own, taking a third. Very nice. I really like this. Very solid play by our Blue Terran player here. 56 to 42 workers. Definitely Blue Terran has a sizable lead at this point. So Nada really has his work cut out for him. I mean, I think we are going to see a transition into more traditional TVT play. Oh, and we do have a drop on the way. We'll have to see if Nada is ready for it. He does not have anything to spot this, so this could be very devastating. These Marines get into the mineral line, and they can park themselves here, still be out of range of the tank, and stop all mining at this point, killing some SCVs, killing, I mean, whatever he can here. The Marines of Nada coming up, and they probably will be. He does have enough Marines here to take this out, but he does not have any medvacs. Oh, actually sniping both the medvacs first. Excellent control, and cleaning that up very quickly. Great control there by Nada, stopping that drop. So now, looks like Nada thinking about taking a third of his own. Blue Terran, third base, up already and running. I mean, he's just been on top of his expanding here. And what do we got going on? Looks like another push. Ooh, wow, interesting. Both these players are going to kind of meet in the middle. Looks like Nada is going to control the watchtower, though, and that's going to be huge. Controlling that watchtower really helps, will really spot for these tanks. Though, you have to remember, the Blue Terran player does have these medvacs, so the medvacs can spot for the tanks for the Blue Terran player, whereas Nada has nothing to spot. And this could actually really hurt him as, I mean, if he loses this other Marine, it'd be very hard for him to continue to, you know, hold this position, as he will have no spotter. There we go, the other Marine is down. Blue Terran player has the spotters, and I think Nada realizes that, and looks like he is thinking about moving back. So he unsieges here. Oh, so this is just great play. So, okay, well, maybe I'm overreading this. What I was thinking Nada was doing here is he's kind of like baiting the other Terran to come forward. Like he was going to scan, you know, he saw that scan, thought the other Terran would be like, oh, my tanks are besieged, let's move forward. But for whatever reason, that, I don't know, I don't think that was what he was doing. Kind of a completely random thought there. But man, that'd be kind of amusing. You know, you bait your, you unsiege your tanks, make it look like you're not sieged up, bait the other Terran to kind of come forward, try and siege up his tanks. Then when the scan goes down, siege up your own tanks. It'd be very, very devastating. But now, Blue Terran has great control, positional control here, and Nada's going to have to make something happen. He is definitely down workers, definitely down an army size, and he does not have any air units to spot, so he has a lot of, he's really going to have to work to win this game. Oh wow, Nada's force being cut in half. These tanks going to do a lot of damage to the Marines, but they are going to go down. And that is not what Nada wants to do. Looking at the unit loss tab, relatively equal, I'm kind of surprised. But Nada way down in supply. This Blue Terran is doing a great job of pulling Nada apart. Marines coming in, taking out those tanks with help from some other tanks. And now Nada is going to be hard-pressed to defend this expansion. We'll have to see if he is able to do it. Moving his tanks into a better position here. Also having some tanks on the high ground here to try and stop reinforcements. This is very nice. If the Blue Terran does not watch out, his forces will be caught off guard. And a big battle going down. Tanks just killing Marines everywhere. Scans going off. Looks like Blue Terran did lose a number of tanks there, but so did Nada. And the Marine count getting very low for both players. Oh no, these Marines coming around though, going to take out this expansion of Nada. Nada needs to cancel this and start to fly away right now or he's going to lose it. But Nada does not want to let this happen. Moves some tanks into position and looks like he might be able to hold 4 now. Yeah, definitely will be able to hold as the tanks of the Blue Terran are dead. And Marines, like I've said before, just do not fare all that well against tanks. The splash damage, I mean, Marines are so small, they clump up. And the splash damage of tanks just wrecks them. Blue Terran trying to snipe some of these tanks though. Great scan. Getting one of those tanks. Marines, look at that great Marine control, splitting them up to attack this tank, taking the tank out. And now Nada does not have any forces to defend against this position. But Nada is sniping some tanks from the high ground. And those 4 tanks did go down. But he still has not cleaned up these Marines. He does have this tank here, though. Looks like this tank is going to finally kill these Marines off. Wow, look at those medvacs working overtime, trying to heal against the barrages. And at the same time, a drop going on from this Blue Terran player. Wow, this is absolutely crazy play from this Blue Terran player. Look how Nada has to stop this drop and his men as well. And it's very hard to stop these tanks when they are already sieged up. So Nada cleaning that up, but not before taking some damage. Blue Terran player with a 4th base at this point. Just doing a great job. I mean, even though he has probably lost more units, yeah, definitely lost more units, he is definitely in the economic, has the economic lead. Dropping forces on top of the tanks, nullifying the siege mode here, and once again, Nada has a sizable force in his main. And he needs to clean it up, bringing all of his forces back from his expansion. He will be able to clean it up, but not before taking some damage. But I think actually the blue Terran player, wow, that actually did not work well for the blue Terran player. If you look, I mean, if we look at the unit loss tab, he's definitely behind, and he lost all of his medvacs doing that drop, so I don't know if it was worth it. But looks like he's moving out once again. He wants to take out this third, and he also is probably feeling pretty good. He does have a fourth and a fifth up, so very strong. Nada does spot this attack with an SCV, will be able to get his forces in position to defend, and I do not think it's going to be very effective. It is hard to break tank v tank battles. You need... I'm kind of surprised neither one of these players have gone the Viking route yet. Vikings do work really well in this matchup, as they allow you to spot with for your tanks almost better than medvacs do. I mean, medvacs do allow you to spot, but versus Vikings, they just cannot compete. Though I kind of like this strategy from both these players. What they're doing here is utilizing scans a lot more to spot instead of using Vikings. This is very bad for the blue Terran though. Nada catching this force out of position, cleaning that up. So Nada just continuing to slowly fight his way back into this game. Blue Terran player though, Siraz going to do a lot of damage here. Nada just trying to roll his tanks forward to fight these tanks. I don't think he's going to win this battle though. Yeah, I think all of Nada's well, I don't know. The blue tank count is getting pretty low. So surprisingly, Nada did pretty well there. He did manage to kill all the siege tanks and even saving one of his own with a medvac. So he does get away with those two medvacs, and yeah, Nada just continuing to fight these cost-effective battles here, and that is the only thing keeping him in this game. Looking at the income tab, 89 to 76. Blue Terran still with a lead, and the most important thing is he has these other bases up. So this base has a planetary fortress, and it's fully saturated. Oh, excuse me. This base getting a planetary fortress as well. Really going to make it hard for Terran Nada here to take these out. I mean, yeah, he could do it with some drops, but he would have to do like a tank drop. He can't just do a marine drop. He'd have to do a tank drop, set up the tanks, and then defend against any sort of counter to his drop. So it's pretty hard to defend. Nada way oversaturated though at his expansion. He needs another base. His main is mined out. So this is really not the best position for Nada. One thing he does have going for him though, he is taking this gold here. And he does seem to have this side pretty much blocked off. So if he gets his gold up, I think he definitely is still in this game. Looks like he's actually thinking about going for a drop here. We'll have to see if this is effective. Not sure where he's going to drop. There are some missile turrets here. It would be a shame if he lost any medvacs. Oh, and it does get scanned, so Nada just probably going to retreat, not going to go for the drop. Looking for a sensor tower there, but looks like that's not, I mean, there wasn't there. I guess I saw Nada's sensor tower. Great positioning by the sensor tower. I mean, in these close air positions, every second you can see a drop coming definitely helps, so I really like that sensor tower. Blue Terran here. Well, both Terrans really just kind of in a stalemate here. This is good for Nada though. It's allowing him to get up his expansion. Let's look at the upgrades. Nada at +1, but at the Blue Terran at +2, almost at +3 for his tanks. That definitely helps. How's he going bio-wise? 2-0. Nada, I think, is 1-1. So bio pretty equal, but the tanks are really the huge damage dealers here. And that's going to really give, I feel, the Blue Terran player an advantage in any sort of tank war. I mean, having +3 tank attack is huge. So, a lot of Marines attacking into this force, but Nada's tank just blowing the fuck out of these Marines, for lack of a better word. And it finally does go down, but definitely cost efficient there. I mean, even if you just consider the medvac energy cost. Unbelievable. Blue Terran trying to poke around this side. Nada's force is not really in position. Getting some tanks, though, into position in time. Looks like he will be able to defend this expansion. Not without taking some losses, though. Big scans going out for both players. Spotting for the siege tanks. And now they're kind of at a stalemate. Tanks both out of range of each other. so we do not see any more, or the scans will not be effective, is guess what I am going for here. Submarine's getting caught a little bit out of position. Oh, getting exploded there. This is not a good day to be a Marine. So many Marines have died to tank fire this game. Unbelievable. At the same time, we do have a push coming out from this side from the Blue Terran. Did manage to clean up a bunch of Marines. Nada going to be hard pressed to defend against this though. Kind of running out of forces. The tanks and Marines coming out. Oh, picking off all those tanks. Nada's gold is now undefended. He does manage to clean up this bottom with some tanks and Marines, but he cannot lose this gold. Lost a bunch of workers already, but needs to defend this gold. That is the biggest thing here. If he loses this base, it pretty much is game over. So it looks like he is going to take out these Marines, but more reinforcements coming around from the other side. This gold base is going to get taken out, and Nada does GG. So the Blue Terran is victorious, taking out one of the best Terrans in the world. So very nice play by this Blue Terran. I'd really like to know who he is. Just played a very, very solid macro game here, showing that he can macro with the best of them. So yeah, it was a really cool TVT. Hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said, I'm really kind of curious to see who this. I need to stretch. Kind of curious to see who this Blue Terran is. He played a really solid game. I mean, Nada really is one of the best macro Terrans in the world, and this Blue Terran could just keep up with him like that. So it didn't have any trouble at all. Yeah, he did have a little bit of a build order advantage. I mean, I will give him that. Kind of that's Nada's fault though. Nada chose not to scout, and the Blue Terran did get away with a very early expansion, which gave him a slight economic lead at the beginning. But he just had great timing. I mean, he hit Nada just when his stim and combat shields were up, and before Nada had any tanks, and that worked out really well for him. He managed to do quite a bit of damage with that first attack, and he really just held on to that lead and just did not allow Nada to recover from it. Though, in all honesty, Nada did play pretty well. Even though he was behind, he had some really cost-efficient battles in the mid-game, and that allowed him to hang on for so long. But in the end, he just could not quite recover. I mean, that just was not quite enough. He made a few blunders. I mean, I guess if we look at the unit loss tab here, yeah, the Blue Terran definitely caught up. I mean, he still lost more, but the gap was smaller than it was in the mid-game. I think it was almost 5,000, 6,000, something like that. Cherry Pepsi. But yeah, pretty good game. And I think I rambled long enough, so you guys will not be spoiled. So once again, I hope you guys did enjoy that game. And yeah, so see y'all later.